Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Transics. I am Liz. Love you guys. Thanks for being here today. I'm going to show you how I make my Trashy journal paper dolls. These gals have just been made out of scraps here and there. This one is a two-sided gal, and she's got a little pocket. This is the first one I did, and so she got me all ready to do more. And she's a sweetheart. I even gave her arms that move. And Jubilee, my little granddaughter, loves these gals and plays with them every now and then. So these are so sweet, and this is the second one that I did. And to reinforce the neck on these, I used some staples, and I have a better way of doing that now. But they're all just made out of scraps. Scraps of paper, packaging, painted papers, and just whatever. Things that are just so cute. And I made this one this morning, and even though she has a blue face, she's just adorable. And I'm going to give her some eyelashes and freckles because she just looks like she needs them. The hair on her is made out of packaging from an avocado bag. So that's a fun thing for avocado bags to be used for, right? And I used tape on this one on the back. And I didn't do her double-sided because she is already got a home, and I have one more in my book that I'll show you here really quick. And one of the signatures here. Isn't she cute too? More fun hair, and she's holding a pie. She's holding an apple pie. Yeah. Painted papers, wrapping papers, the top of uh, my protein powder bags. And I already have a place for this gal, and it's right here. And I'm going to set her in there, but I want to mark my spot where it belongs because none of my signatures are sewn in yet. So, or not sewn in. I don't think I'm going to sew. I think I'm just going to use string as my signature attachment. So you'll see that in another video. So this is the home for this little gal, and I need to move some things around here, but she fits perfectly within this little window and on this piece of fabric that I've had in my stash for such a long time. I don't even know how long. I sewed this together a long time ago, I think, when I was making fabric clusters. I'm going on a kick or whatever. But she just fits lovely there. And the other one's going to go right here. And I'll get to making that here in a second. But I'm so glad you guys are here. Yeah, somebody asked me how I made my little angels. She said she called them angels, and you could totally put wings on them, and they would be great little angels. So I am thinking about how to make this next one, and I've got several different pieces of trash right here. I've got circles from ribbon spools, or you could just make your own kind of circle, and it could be an oval, any kind of shape really, and you just use up something from your stash of trash and create a cutie little person. So anything you want. I'm going to use this actually. This ends up being my base, and that's actually a really good way to I'm finding out as I'm working on this, it's like, you know what? I need more of a surface for the head to be glued onto for its strength. Otherwise, the neck is just too floppy. So if you want to do a two-sided one, this is a really good way to do that. So I'm going to choose this candy bar box that I had, and I'm thinking about that circle, but I end up using the orange one as my base, and I trim it up just a smidge just to give it a little more space down low so it fits on the page better. So yeah, the blue thing is going to be used, but not today. So I'm getting things figured out. Got blues for the hair, that Kleenex box end for arms. I have some painted paper towels there, some pickup papers, and zoom down just a little bit. And I'm thinking that's going to be the main dress part, but then I stop myself and go, hey, I have an envelope. Let's use the envelope to make this fun, make the fun base be the dress. And then so I use that and I cut it out and get that on there really good. And then the rest of that stuff can still be used in some other way, of course. Cut off the excess and just get that on there really good. And I just love, patterned envelopes are so fun. So I'm going to use the paper towel for some little ruffly type things around the neck. That's going to be the accents. And they're so cute. Just giving it a little ruffle. And I just glue that on really quick. And these don't take that long. This took about a half an hour to put it together. And as you can see, I am speeding up the process for the video, of course. But it's a little ruffle. I just folded it over and just gave it a little pinches here and there just to make a little ruffle on the top and a ruffle for the base. And it turned out really cute. And when you're doing these things, there's so many ways you can add cuteness to them. You can add buttons to them. I'm going to add some sequins actually. And I'm still deciding whether or not to use the orange one or not. Because then I don't have to cover it up. Because if I have the blue one, I would have to cover it up with something. And I don't want to have to look. So look around it for stuff. And the orange is really a cute face anyway. So here I'm going to make the arms. But before I do that, before I actually attach them on, let me show you how I cut them out though first. I kind of make a little, that shape right there. And then I use that shape to go ahead and just mimic it on the other side. You know how you do corners on tags. You just take it and flip it upside down so they're the same size, but it doesn't have to be. But don't those arms work cute? And then I cut out just a little tiny triangle for the thumbs. Yeah. And I don't know what she's going to hold, but I have this little tin of little flowers and things. It's actually a drawer, a really cheap drawer. I've got this other thing too. But no, I like the flower. Then what else? She needs buttons in the middle. She needs buttons or something. So I stop and I grab some of my sparklies. And while I am thinking about this, I also brought up my buttons too, but I decided to use something out of this little container. I actually got this at, I think, Walmart. It's just a little bag of sequins and other kinds of things that can be for who knows what. They can just have a whole bunch of fun things in them to use. So I grabbed three of the round purple sequins. But then I realized, I want some more color on this. So I grabbed my gelato and I just kind of scribble around some lines and just give that a little bit of color, just enough to break up the black and white of that envelope, even though it's really cool the way it is. You could leave it whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of these. You can do whatever you want. And these buttons make it so cute. They look like little buttons. They're not really buttons, but they look like buttons. And they're shinies and they're cutesies and they're fun. And I kind of want to get her thumbs holding that flower. And I finish gluing off the arms. And she's coming together. She's coming together and she's such a cutie. And add one more bun beneath the flower. There we go. Love her little dress. Love this. What do you guys think so far? Next thing's hair. Next thing is hair. So I take this blue stuff and I fold it a couple different ways and times and try to get it organized so I can get hair on there. And I just glue it down. And the beauty of this too, you don't have to think a whole lot. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch of fanfare. You don't have to make it look exact. And again, the hair could be just some other packaging that you have that you like. Or some ruined, mixed up, something that didn't quite work off your printer, Sometimes you get these printouts that aren't quite right for whatever reason. So I'm going to put some bangs on her too. There you go. Yeah, she's cute. And let's make her face. She needs her face. Here we go. Give you a little close up. Make sure my pen is working here. And my faces are super simple. Little eyebrows. Just some circle for the eyes. I'm not even going to worry about white dots type of things. Give her some eyelashes. Little nose. And a nice smile. And that's all for her face. No, that's not true. I give her some cheeks. Give her some cute little cheeks, some pink gelato cheeks, and I round them up a little bit with my brush. And then I also give her some freckles too, I think. And there's a whole bunch of glue goobies. So I was trying to get her. Let's also reinforce this with tape. Even though it's going to be glued down onto another piece of that fabric, it's going to have another adhesive thing there. I just want to have more just because I don't want her to fall apart at all. All right, here we are. I'm going to get ready to put her in my book now. And I'm almost done. She's just this happy little sweetheart that, there's the freckles, that has a home in my book. And she's just made out of trash, that eyelash trim I've had for such a long time. And I want to add another thing here. Let's put this flower. Take off that extra bumpy thing. And then we have this cute little paper doll. And they're so easy to make, and they're fun, and I know my little granddaughter loves these little girls, and it's just a little accent you can put on here. I'm going to have three of these dolls in this book. So when it's all said and done, at least 3, depending on whether or not Jubilee takes the other 2 that are double-sided. She just might. And, that's fine. I can make more, right? Glue that down. Put her on the page, and she has a home. I love this. I hope this gives you guys an idea. And it's just, again, if you want to make it an angel, give her wings. Give your little paper dolls wings. They're just so sweet. And you could do this you could make animals too. And yeah, these are the other 2 that I have. And here we go. All 3 of these girls are like sisters. All right, friends, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed that and it gives you an idea. I got that little doggy tail sticking out. Anyway, you could have them holding words too. Love you guys. Take care. And as always, God bless. Bye-bye.